hello. Welcome, one and all. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Let's see. Lydia Washington, you're here first today. Thank you so much for that. And who else is here? Marcia Ware, Lottie, Beezy, 23, Ingrid Sowers. Let me see. Oh, thank you so much for that. I hope I'm pleasant. Hello to Legs. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, H Night, member for 14 months. Thank you for that. 14 months. Obviously, I have another screen open. Otherwise, I'd have missed that. Well, tell you what, let's just scroll through. Hey, Judy, let's see. Manello, I'm going to scroll through real fast, seeing that it's later than I'm sure most of you hope for. Elaine Parker, hi. Marcy Foreman, Miranda Rios, Brenda Gray, Stephanie Baker, BW is here, Teresa McDougall, Jacqueline Baltimore is French. Jacqueline Baltimore is very French. Let's see. Dorothy Ross is here with the hugs. S is here. Very cool. Thank you very much. Okay. Brenda Phillips, B. Martrim, and Sherry. Oh, is it Cherry? Cherry. Meta. Okay. All right. And Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Okay, I'm going to take my face out of there. And happy heavenly birthday to Princess Diana, the Queen of Hearts, the People's Princess. Happy heavenly birthday. And this is one of my favorite images of the People's Princess. Happy birthday, Diana. So I found the birthday video I was looking for some time ago. I'm going to play it much later because it makes you feel very sentimental. So we'll do that one later. Oh my goodness, thank you. Oh, let me take that off for now. CD, thank you so much for the Cash App, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Now, I just had saw a question for Mo Shannon. Have I heard from her? No, actually, I was trying to get in touch with her yesterday, so I'm going to try again today. But I trust she's okay. But yes, I do need to check in on her and a couple of other people. Thank you so much for asking, though, and I will do that. Okay, and let's see. Oh, well, health, yes. Weather, I was wondering why I was feeling extra stiff today, and I see why it's raining right now. Yeah, my back and knees and such could definitely predict the weather. So yeah, I'm feeling okay mentally and spiritually, but arthritically not so well. But anyway, we make it do what it does, right? Okay, or do what it do. All right. Thank you so much for asking. And Jacqueline Batimer, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex, or Sussex Royal is French. Oh man, I went on the one of the travel sites, and I was trying to book a ticket for France for next week. I figure, you know, as I am a creature of opportunity, I'm one of those people that anytime something happens, I'm just like, oh, I bet now is a good time to buy a ticket. And I know that's just wrong on so many levels, but I mean, I want to make sure that I contribute to the tourism industry. Although I can be a bit frugal, and I promise you, sometimes when I travel, I barely make a ripple on the local economy, and sometimes I'm just like, I'm more out there. But I know, isn't that shady? But I was just like, I want to help them out, and if I can find a first class ticket at a coach price, oh, it's in the knees, huh? Back and knees, yeah. Teresa McDougal, it's one of those signs of aging, I believe. Okay, so Princess Diana's 62nd birthday would have been today, July the 1st. And it's kind of an interesting connection between the Spencer family and the United States of America. And if you haven't heard that connection before, it turns out that the Washington family was tenants of the Spencers, and the flag for Washington, D.C., or the city crest, and of course, the United States flag actually was inspired by the official flag or crest. Yeah, I think it's the crest for the Washington family. So there is a bit of a connection there. And there are some of George Washington's ancestors that are buried at the chapel there on the Spencer estate. So go figure, huh? Now, of course, we all know the slave history of the Washingtons, and in particular George Washington, who was as hypocritical as they come when it comes to fighting for freedom. But let us say this, though: there is a model throughout the world where, after so many terms, a president or a sometimes prime minister will step down and peacefully transfer power to the victor, right? And that is a fine tradition that was started with George Washington, in my opinion. There were people who wanted to make him a king. There were people who wanted to make him a lifetime leader, and he turned them down. He decided to go back to Mount Vernon so he can push the slaves around. And yes, that was the shadier side of the Washington history. But if you think about how many places in this world where there's a tradition of an executive or a head of state, if you will, stepping down peacefully from power, it's not perfect, but I think that if there was anything that I could attribute to George Washington that was right, it would be that. Aside from that, there was that whole contradiction of the rest of his life. But anyway, that is a little connection with the Spencers and the United States. Joy Amore, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex and listening to one of my rather bizarre history lessons. One of my very bizarre history lessons. Where would we be without them, right? Right. Okay. The most empowering moment of Princess Diana, in my opinion, has to be this one. On the steps of the Field Museum in Chicago, this is like the biggest away from the royal family trip she ever had. She was treated as though she was a head of state. And there she is with the faculty of Northwestern University, which, here's another one of those weird Spencer connections, which actually hosted Princess Diana, which would later become the birthday of Lilibet Diana. And Northwestern University was so proud to say that we welcomed the Queen of Hearts on the same day, years later, that Lilibet Diana was born. So there's another one of those connections. And of course, the school colors for the Northwestern University, purple and white. Well, the president of the university, which I believe is on her right side there, asked her if she was going to wear the school colors. And rather than respond, she gave him a very ladylike and dignified smile. And then when she showed up for the event, there she was in one of her more famous outfits, the Versace dress, which is still held in captivity at the Kensington Palace. The last time I heard, actually, I saw it there at the Kensington Palace. And I tell you, having her clothes on display, I was glad to feel that close to the People's Princess, but I was also very disturbed that it seems like she's, stuck there. But that's just the feeling that I had at the time. So rather eerie. But yeah, so that is, I believe, the most empowering moment of the People's Princess when she emerged from that Rolls Royce that was on loan from a local car dealership. And I believe today is in a car museum, an automobile museum. But yeah, there she is, the People's Princess, recently divorced and none the worse for wear, and just full of life, and a bright future ahead of her. And of course, People magazine wrote about it. Die while Chicago, putting aside her bitter divorce, a radiant princess lights up the windy city. And there's another image of the People's Princess. She's actually making her way into the Drake Hotel, which is an old hotel from, oh gosh, I forget, I think it was the 1920s. Well, that hotel also played host to a lot of very famous people. And every 10 years, they also celebrate the People's Princess with a display of photos featuring Princess Diana on this very historic visit to Chicago. So, happy heavenly birthday to the People's Princess. And here is a collage of photos I put together just earlier today. So, there you go. Um, the People's Princess, and of course, the rightful heir to her legacy, in my opinion, um, Harry, the Duke of Sussex. And as far as I'm concerned, the People's Prince. Oh, really? Cynthia Henderson says, Baron, you sent me down a rabbit hole. I just found an article in the International Business Times about George Washington connection to the Spencers. Thanks for the info. Oh, thank you, Cynthia, for looking it up. I love to share things like that. So let's see. Okay. All right. Let us move on then. And one of the most enduring legacies of Princess Diana was the landmine, the Halo Trust. As you can see, the land is scarred with all of these big giant craters, not just a typical pothole, but these are craters that were created from the landmines. And as I said, the rightful heir to her legacy, Prince Harry sits beneath the Diana tree in Humbo, Angola, which marks the spot where the Princess of Wales was photographed in 1997. Well, Harry himself went there um, to honor his mother, and also at the request of the Halo Trust, so that they could remember the People's Princess contribution. And now that road that you see right there is a shopping district. It is alive with commerce rather than, just this space that was uninhabitable because of the landmines. And of course, the forget me nots, those flowers that happen to be the People's Princess favorite And of course, that is where the name Sintabale comes from, which of course means forget me not. And also, let us not forget the Princess of Wales, the People's Princess, most important legacy to thousands of people at a time when medical science was not prepared. That, of course, is HIV/AIDS. She put a spotlight on it and gave voice to it long before it was fashionable. And yeah, that was another one of those moments that no one will ever forget. Okay. And yesterday, of course, there was the release of that video for the Diana Awards. Now, remember, I'm going to share another video at the end. So let's catch up with some other things that is going on today, and then we'll get to that video later. Yes, later. Okay. So here is a contrast in personalities. Nothing wrong with that. We're not all the same. We're not a monolith. We are individuals. But there is Harry celebrating his mother's memory, honoring his mother's memory with the Diana Award. And there's his brother, solemn, sourpuss, somewhat, I don't know what to call him. There's something behind those eyes that is hurt, distracted, preoccupied. And of course, we all know that he's a big bully. And his only purpose is to go through a coronation. He has little or no ambition for anything. He makes these lofty, self aggrandizing promises and commitments that he couldn't possibly keep, nor is he interested in keeping them. Aside from waiting in a holding pattern of history, serves little or none by way of useful purposes. He is he's just there. And I think the only thing that he has a passion about is competing against his brother. Not that he's willing to do the work, but just that he wants to remind people that he exists and that he is the most important person in the room, just because he was born first. And that's it. And there's Harry living his best life in sunny California, where he is a property owner in his own right, a property owner. And of course, he has real jobs. He has real jobs and commitments and responsibilities far greater than that of his brother. His brother is part of an institution. Harry is his own person. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I wanted to say about that. I saw the contrast between the two brothers on what should have been a day to celebrate their mother's legacy, and that was it. This you got Harry, full of joy, and poor William. Well, who knows what's wrong with him? He's the one that needs therapy the most nowadays. Happy Canada Day. Happy Canada Day to our neighbors to the north. Happy Canada Day. I wish I knew the words to "Oh Canada," but I just don't. And I'm wondering, does anybody know the words to "Oh Canada" south of the border? And surprisingly, there are some people that have surprised the Canadian teams when they come to the U.S. by actually giving breath to the Canadian national anthem. So some people do know it, but likewise, I don't. So, but anyway, happy Canada Day. What's that? Did I just find some lyrics? Okay. With the fear of isolating everybody who watches this program, with the fear of isolating everyone to the north. Here we go. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. One more time. Oh, Canada. Big finish. We stand on guard for. There you go. There you go. Eat your heart out, Mariah Carey. So, happy Canada Day. All right. So, with that, now that every pet in the neighborhood has run under the furniture, hiding under the beds, hiding in the back of closets and cupboards, let us continue, shall we? Wait, there's a French version? I never thought about that. Let me see. Let me see. Well, good golly, Miss Molly, there is. Okay. Uh, okay, the French version. Oh, Canada, te dos nos os ton franc et saint de fluor gloro carton brass porter lipi il se porter la croix ton histoire et un potpourri des plus brillants exploits et ta valeur des feuilles. Trampoline? Is that trampoline? Okay. Protegai nos foes estos portainos et unos fos. Yes, yes. There we go. Oh, Canada in French. I'm telling you, I am mastering the French language. Some would say butcher, but I say mastering. So thank you very much. Merci, merci. Thank you. Please sit down, everybody. I I don't deserve a standing ovation. Really, I don't. I don't deserve it. I won't accept it. But yes. Gina Sushi. Baron. I'm cracking up here. Happy birthday to Princess Di and happy Canada Day. Thank you so much for the super chat. Merci beaucoup. And arrivederci. I know they're howling with joy. They're howling with joy at my rendition of "O Canada," both in English and French, for your consideration. Okay, So today is a very important day in the history of the Netherlands. Today, King Willem Alexander actually apologized for slavery. Oh, and another important thing today, Iris Demonia, 13 months of membership. Thank you so much for that. And as you can see, he is there laying a wreath. Oh, thank you, Judy. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And there you can see on the 160th anniversary of the abolition of slavery in the Netherlands, King Willem Alexander has given a speech apologizing for the country's historical involvement in slavery and the effects it still has today. On this day, we remember the Dutch history of slavery. I ask forgiveness for this crime against humanity, he said. As your king and as a member of the government, I make this apology myself, and I feel the weight of the words in my heart and my soul. The monarch added that racism in Dutch society is still a major problem and accepts that many won't like to see him making such an apology. And, well, that probably goes without saying. And this is the same king that we saw yesterday posing with what appears to be a very, very close family. There they are at the beach, enjoying their best lives before this monumental speech. And as you can see, another thing that has happened thanks to the king is they have retired this golden carriage, which is adorned with images of empire. And that, of course, includes the slave trade. And because of that, they are not going to use it in the future, at least not in his lifetime. He said that there is too much pain associated with this imagery. And while the carriage itself is in pristine condition, and they are not likely to do anything to those panels, remove them or cover them, it has become a museum piece. And that is something that should happen with these images that have caused a lot of pain and hurt, even in modern times. So, with that, I want to applaud him for taking these steps, which may not necessarily be popular with everyone. But it is enough to trigger some conversations that really do need to happen, conversations that should be had. And of course, you have to remember not everybody is on board. And of course, most likely very conservative sectors of the government are probably angry with him. But this took some courage, because the Dutch royal family isn't popular with everyone. And so, just like any other monarchy, uh, it is only because of the goodwill of the people that he is in that position. And that's something that could be taken away at any given time. But I think most people in the Netherlands enjoy having a monarchy. They're not as expensive as some countries. But yeah, thank you, Willem Alexander. He pretty much told bigoted Dutch folks to kiss his royal behind. Yes, Maya and Luna, thank you so much for that. Let's see. Anything else about that? Lady Metatron says, slowly but surely we are getting the deserved apologies. Absolutely. It's taken time. I think that most people are just, well, at least that is, most people who were on the receiving end of that free labor are hoping that time will just make the topic disappear or go away. But See, putting the carriage in the museum is a good move. No longer celebrate the damage of the past, but we never forget, so we don't allow it to happen again. Exactly, Cynthia Henderson. Got to remember our history. Oh, Iris Demonia gifted one Royal Sussex membership. Now, that's the first time I've noticed that happen. I don't know what that entails. Pam Porter was gifted a membership by Iris Demonia. It's a good thing I opened up another screen. I'd have missed that. Well, congratulations to you, Pam Porter. All right, and thank you, Iris. That was very kind. And in the spirit of goodwill, I think I'm done singing for today. Huh? Huh? In the spirit of goodwill, I'm done singing. Oh, man, you're welcome. No, you're welcome. Okay, and Maureen Reed, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Happy Saturday to you. Happy Princess Diana's birthday and happy Canada Day. Okay. Now, speaking of goodwill, 93-year-old tells Perry, I'm sorry, I was about to say Terry. Tyler Perry tells 93-year-old woman trying to save home, he will help you fight. As a matter of fact, Tyler Perry even said, I've pretty much been a fighter all my life. And the very feisty and determined 93-year-old Josephine Wright said, well, that makes two of us. I love her. I love her. Miss Wright, please tell where to show up and what you need to what you need to help you fight. So that is a tweet from Tyler Perry saying that he is going to help her fight the good fight. Now, apparently, this home has been in the family since the end of slavery. And I think developers found the house was across the property line or something to that effect. But anyway, they want to kick her out of her home and seize her property. And at 93 years old, she seems to be quite healthy and still quite feisty. There's a very small photo of her next to Tyler Perry there on the right, and you can see she is every bit the fashion plate, even in her golden years. So good for her. Good for her. I like that. That makes two of us. Well, honey, that makes two of us. Oh, man. Now, on the theme of feisty, President Biden is skipping King Charles' coronation. Good. Well, that ain't all that he's skipping. Take a look there on the left side. Rather than a full state visit with King Charles, as previous reported U.S. President, Joe Biden's next planned visit to the UK will be for less than 24 hours. And Royal Suitor has tweeted, same energy. So I wonder if Joe Biden is going to show up holding a coat hanger to indicate that I'm not going to be here for long. Because if you guys remember, Harry's luggage, or his carry-on, should I say, when he returned back to the peace and serenity of Montecito, California, where, of course, there are no leaks in Montecito. I haven't said that in a while. But when he returned back to the peace and serenity of Montecito, all he had was a coat hanger. I'm assuming that he had perhaps a garment bag or something with that really cool Dior suit. But other than that, morning coat, should I say, morning suit, he just carried a coat hanger and off he went back to California in time to celebrate Archie Mountbatten-Windsor birthday. So Archie Harrison Mountbatten-Windsor, pardon me. Okay. Oh, Sonia Dandridge. I'm so sorry. I didn't notice that. You have Princess Diana for your profile pic. Thank you so much for that. I never change mine for obvious reasons. I just leave it as is. But for those of you that have done that over time for various reasons, thank you so much for that. It is a way to rally support, isn't it? I love that. Thank you very much. Oh, Canada. You know, that song is kind of catchy. And I'm sure you guys listening to me sing it, you probably feel like you have caught something, don't you? Um, oh, Church Nelly. You know, today is Be Nice to Catherine Day. I thought we discussed that. Oh no, we didn't. So, all right, you're free to rain hail if you like. Uh, well, that's right. Get off the island before you have to be voted off. He did the right thing. And of course, there is Joe Biden reminding Prince Charles of two things. Number one, I'm older than you and I'm taller than you. And also, my mama hates you. So, as we all know, the Bidens are not very partial to the royals. Joyce Yvette Davis says, unfortunately, some Americans would like to return to the 1800s, including the Supreme Court. Yes, I have. I have been trying to maintain my what do you call it? My peace of mind. Um, but yeah, at some point, I'm going to really have to get a good look at this thing with the Supreme Court. It is very frustrating because we had an opportunity to elect a qualified candidate, and I think all right, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it as nice as I can. If you are one of those people who just could not vote for Hillary Clinton and you didn't vote at all, or you voted for the Orange Menace, elections do have consequences, and I'm not going to judge anybody for voting their conscience because the campaign that was against Hillary Clinton, we are seeing the same dark forces and that same mentality play out against someone who is truly innocent and certainly in no way reflects the image that they perpetuate of her. And I hope that this is a good lesson to people that there's always some ulterior motives to this level of scrutiny. And we never really know a person if we go by what the media says. So I hope we have learned our lesson. I learned this lesson some time ago, and it really didn't have anything to do with presidential politics. It was more local politics. And listening to a conversation and hearing another side of the story, you realize that it's not exactly what it appears to be. And that some people assume that they know a person based on these negative and constant propaganda uh, news stories is very disappointing. It's upsetting and disappointing, and it's sad, but it works, and that's why they do it. They wouldn't do it if it didn't work. So, if you were one of those people, I hope you have learned your lesson. I don't know you all individually. I'm not singling anybody out, of course. I'm just saying, let that be a lesson when it comes to what we know about people based on the fear mongering headlines. She wants to start World War III. What about her emails? And the worst of it was the pizzeria where they were holding children in the back of the pizzeria. And look at where we are today, and people believed it. So thank you, Joyce Yvette Davis, for the super chat. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Lex says King Charles III begged Biden to come to the coronation, and when he sent his wife, they put her in the back. Yet they still use photo ops with Dr. Jill Biden. F them. Well, you all know the most famous photo op with Dr. Jill Biden was when they had that thing in Cornwall. And anyway, the very unprepared, unknowledgeable Catherine the Magnificent was so embarrassed when someone asked her about seeing Lilibet that they quickly shut down the engagement. I mean, they shut it down so fast because they did not want to embarrass Catherine. And of course, at the time, Royal Sussex reached out. At the time, Royal Sussex reached out to Catherine the Great via the Kensington Palace, and this was her remarks.
Obviously, it'd be. I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to. Obviously, to this day, and going forward and things. It is, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So, yeah, I do.
Okay, and things. I still don't know what and things were, but all right, girl, we hear you. Now, I think the strongest part of Kate's personality, and something that little exchange reminded me was probably a good thing, is this.
Reasons Catherine is so popular amongst certain demographics, and I'm going to say older people and men, is because she says absolutely nothing. Yeah. She's a good little girl who keeps quiet and doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, doesn't rock the boat, and is a very traditional, old-fashioned mute woman.
Take note, Nicola. There it is. Right.
One of the reasons Catherine is so popular amongst certain demographics, and I'm going to say older people and men, is because she says absolutely nothing. Yeah. She's a good little girl who keeps quiet and doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, doesn't rock the boat, and is a very traditional, old-fashioned mute woman.
All right. So thank you very much, Legs, for the super chat. And thank you so much for being here today. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Yes, Marsha, I could imagine that. Listening to Harry's speech, the conversation, and you could tell it was scripted, of course, but the conversation that he had for the Princess Diana Award, the way he spoke, the way he made eye contact with the camera and everything, it was incredible. Now, and I'm not just nitpicking. I watched him, and then I watched his brother. And William, his body language, the way he contorted himself, you would think, speaking of your mother's legacy, something to honor your mother, you would think that there would have been more comfort and ease. But he was reading the words like it was a hostage video. I'm telling you, it was like a hostage video. I felt so. That was a hostage video. It was not a speech to remind people of his mother's life or contribution. It was a hostage video, a very sad, worrisome, troubling hostage video. There he was, William, the hostage, trying to talk about his mama. Very, very sad. Very sad. It's so disingenuous. Let me see. Well, I mean, he just reminded Charles that everything you have has been given. I was elected by the people, for the people, and of the people. And of course, that I'm older than you, I'm taller than you, and I could, uh, and I don't have childbearing hips and swollen hands. That's what he told him. I do not have childbearing hips. And of course, um, one of the things that I've noticed about Charles as he gets older is he's starting to have those hoster hips, those childbearing hips. Uh, oh man. Okay, let me stop. I mean, that is King Charles III. He is the king of the United Kingdom, so I should show a little more respect for him and his swollen sausage fingers and childbearing hips. Let me see. Oh, okay. He's been ordained for his life, and I should be more considerate of him. So, right here, you can see the president with his aviator glasses, and in his sights, whether it's the younger or the older of the king and Prince of Wales, the royals, doesn't matter to him. Nobody fools with Joe Biden. Nobody. He's a cranky old man, and he's not afraid to tell you like it is. So get him, Joe. And let's remember that his mother was so spiteful when it came, when I'm going to say spiteful, but just so she had righteous indignation when it comes to the royals that she refused to sleep in the bed that she thought the queen may have slept in. See there? Joe Biden's mother so disliked England, she refused to sleep in the bed Queen had slept in. So I believe they said she slept on the floor rather than sleep in that bed. It was on some trip, and when she heard that the Queen had stayed there, she was like, "I'm not sleeping." So I guess to Tyler Perry, that makes three of us, right? That makes three of us. Okay. All right. So let's move on. And of course, one of the squatties I noticed on Twitter said he's already met with the king, meaning, of course, the what is that? Good King Harry, or what was that Diana used to call him? He's already met a king. He's met the king, literally. So he doesn't need to go and meet with Charles. He's already met a king. Now, take a look here. Jeremy Clarkson friend Queen Camilla remains silent about this his article, and the Sun is using Kate Middleton's endorsement of their baby bank campaign to whitewash a sexually discrimination editorial breach. The royal contract with the media comes at a cost of their integrity. And so, what Royal Suitor is speaking of is, of course, these two articles. If you recall, Camilla condemns global pandemic of violence against women, right? Remember when she decided to take up the mantle as, this woman that defends other women from abuse? Well, of course, there are some people, myself included, who believes that the way Diana was treated by Charles and Camilla was abusive. So isn't it just ironic as all get out that someone who, by all accounts, likely um, treated Princess Diana very badly, right, is here virtue signaling by speaking of the pandemic of violence against women. Now, one thing that I noticed is that ever since they put that crown on her head, there is little or no mention about anything to do with the women's charities that she was so busy promoting before they put that crown on her head. And we all know that Camilla isn't much by way of work. Camilla does not like to do those events. She doesn't really like to do anything that she doesn't want to do. And it's even been reported that she doesn't like to travel. So, you know, you're not getting a big worker bee out of Camilla. She's not very able or capable or anything like that. So um, I guess I'm trying to say don't expect much from her because she's not going to give you much in the first place. And that is about that. So, and then there, of course, is wait for it. Where are we here? Oh, approval, royal approval. I am so proud to back the Sun's fabulous Baby Bank on U.S. Baby Bank Us campaign on a Baby Bank on Us. That's weird. Campaign. It is a not virtual, vital cause, says Kate Middleton. Well, who knows what that was about. This is when she demonstrated to the world that she's never actually folded clothes before, even though she had that job on a high street. This is a vanity project. And if I had $1 for every time Kate has worn pink since the start of the year, I could probably afford myself a very lovely, expensive sushi dinner. I would treat myself to a sushi dinner because Kate has been pulling off this pink thing ever since I think she's trying to associate herself with being the real princess, like a Disney princess, only real, and also trying to connect with young women using the idea that she is a real princess and that's why she's wearing pink. I really do believe that the pink is to promote her brand as a princess, to remind people that she is a princess now, and hopefully, in some way, bond with the young people that she is going to have to rely upon if she's going to be popular in the future. Because, there's a certain demographic that doesn't care about the royals. The only royals that they look to are Harry and Meghan. They see the rest of them as pretty out of touch, old fashioned, outdated, and all of that other stuff that you would associate with someone who, like, for instance, when she went to go and meet with those kids and they said, "Where's Megan?" And that happened twice, I believe, where the kids were asking about Megan. They were disappointed to see her. They really were hoping that Megan was going to come along at some point. Now that has got to ouch. That is a big ouch for her. But you know what they say, get used to it because there's going to be more of that. So, yeah, there you go. Now, I was looking for a video with Camilla. Let me see if I can find it. Here I go meddling again. Here I go meddling again. Let me see if I can find that video. Do you guys remember the one where Camilla was seated next to that? She was a charity worker, and unfortunately, she found out that because of her African descent heritage, that she would be the one seated next to Camilla. And she looked so uncomfortable. And I'm mad at myself because I just saw that video yesterday. And now I can't remember what the title was. Oh, man. Oh, well. We won't have that fun right now. But yeah, I'll find it when I don't look for it, when I'm not looking for it, rather. What was the title of that video? Oh, man. Sorry, you guys, I can't find it. And that was fun. Huh. Wow, I got a lot of videos. Okay. Not finding it. And that's too bad because that was fun. I just cannot remember what the title was. It was a short video. Okay, I give up. I give up. I'm going to move on. Oh, I found it. I found it. Okay. I love this one. I found it. Okay. And you know what? You know why I couldn't find it? The title is Camilla. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why I couldn't find it. I did search for that, but I could not find it. Okay, here we go.
Yes. Yes.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming.
There you are. So you're the only mountain here?
Yeah, I am.
Yes. Great family. So how long? So how
Look at her face. Look at her face. This is too funny. I forget her name, but look at her face. Her eyes say it.
So you passed the lunch club?
Yes. Yes.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming.
There you are. So you're the only mountain here?
Yeah, I am.
Yes. Great family. So how long? So how long?
Woo! I love that. I love that. I know the expression on her face, April, May. The expression on her face says it all. I mean, it's just like.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming.
There you are. So you're the only mountain here?
Yeah, I am.
Yes. Great family. So how long? So how
I love it. I love it. She's shaking her head like if she reach over me one more time. Let's see. Judy says wearing pink in what is that? Dinner outfit will not help. And oh, Mel's Diner. Yes, wearing pink in Mel's. That's right. That's right. Her pink is from what is it? The show Alice, Mel's Diner. Thank you for remembering that, Judy. I love it, and thank you for the super chat. Yeah, that poor lady. She was trapped. Let me see. I feel Camilla sent these atrociously ugly outfits to Kate and Fiesta to keep them in their place so they don't outshine her. Camilla is a worse mean girl. Yes, she is. Let's see. Lynn E. Hi, B. It appears that King Charles' consort Camilla was abused. Let's see. King Charles was abused. Was abused or the abuser? Is that a typo? Well, but thank you so much. I think I understand what you're saying. And thank you so much for the super chat. Let me see. Her expression says, please get lost. I don't want to be next to, what is that? Next to them? Next to me. Thank you so much, Bea. Thank you so much for that. Oh, that's a good question. Did Camilla ignore her and talk to the others instead? I thought that's bad manners, reaching over people like that. Well, you know what? I wonder about that. I don't remember if there was like a conversation before they sat down or were they already seated and then Camilla just showed up bristling and snorting through her nose and everything. I don't recall. Oh, the Wicked Witch of the Devil. Okay, okay, I'm on board with that. You know, I love her. Let me see. I think that is Harry's book. I can see y'all are feeling shady, shady. I think I'm a bad influence. I think. Let me see. Okay, Harry's no monster. Camilla's a monster. Camilla is the Wicked Witch of the Devil. Oh man, now you know when I'm looking for it, I can't find it. Right? Let me see. Huh. Oh, there it is. There it is. I got it. I got it. I got it.
Of Prince Harry, and Prince Harry should be king. He should be king. Prince Harry, not William. William and all of them in there, Camilla is the wicked witch of the devil himself, because she is part of why Princess Diana is not here. I do not like them. I am from the islands, and we don't need them in the Caribbean. Get lost. Demolish the monarchy. This is 2023, okay? And I will support Harry 100%. I do feel for him. Yes, I do. And everything in the book is the truth. And Charles is the monster, not Harry. Harry is no monster, not Meghan. He's bringing the story out right now. They are evil people. They are not nice. Behind the wall, we all are one human being, and behind that wall there are no difference with me and you and any other Brits. Give the people back the money. They are just welfare recipients, living off the taxpayers of the British people. And the British people are stupid, supporting that nonsense monarchy. It is nothing. It's just a title. It means nothing, a title. I'm angry at them. Ha!
Well, I guess she said it. All right, for you all being shady today. Okay, that was fun. Thank you for the recommendation. Okay, let's move on then, shall we? So, this story has taken on a life of its own, but then again, it should have been as much coverage about it a week or two after the event, but they dragged out, instead of taking 6 weeks to come up with their assessment, they took months and months and months, 6 months to really, yeah, it took 6 months instead of 6 weeks for them to actually mention, or should I say, report that they found that his column was quite sexist. We all know that underlying the sexism is the racism. And of course, it was only after having a luncheon with the Queen Consort that he actually wrote the article. And then, of course, he came up with this. As a matter of fact, let me play a little soundbite for you guys from James O'Brien, where he. And now, for some reason, I don't know how I missed this. But as per usual, James O'Brien said it in a way that I think few people could.
5th, 2022. Mr. Clarkson wrote solely to Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. Sorry, what, pardon? Excusez-moi? On December the 25th, 2022, Mr. Clarkson wrote solely to Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. The contents of his correspondence were marked private and confidential, because nothing says public apology like private and confidential. While a new public apology has been issued today by Mr. Clarkson, what remains to be addressed is his long-standing pattern of writing articles that spread hate, rhetoric, dangerous conspiracy theories, and misogyny. Unless each of his other pieces were also written, quotes, in a hurry, end quotes, as he states, it is clear that this is not an isolated incident shared in haste, but rather a series of articles shared in hate. I like that last line. Just as a wordsmith, all right, as a considerably less successful author than Prince Harry. I love that last line, shared in haste rather than shared in haste, but rather a series of articles shared in hate. And that is that out of all of it. Listen, I know it's not worse than comparing her to a serial killer and then boasting about he can't possibly be a misogynist because Jodie Kidd once drove a car fast on his old television program. But if someone insulted my wife and then wrote to me instead of her, I can't even begin to think how I'd, never mind how she'd respond. I can't even begin to think how, could you imagine? I mean, Sheila and I don't present a show together, so she, you know, in the way that you and Nikki Campbell were once like a
Husband and wife team,
radio spouses. Imagine if someone had insulted Sheila Fogarty and then written to Nikki Campbell about it back in the day. So, I was on your show the other day, and I'm very sorry for how rude I was to the woman.
It's astounding.
It's breathtaking.
It's medieval.
Well, I was going to say Victorian, but you've gone further. Literally, about 800 years further.
Exactly.
And that is how the man's mind works. It also then emerged, of course, that Amazon was poised to call time on a couple of his television entertainments, which means he's presumably terrified that he's going to lose the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire gig as well. Because, and of course, remember, it's not about the money. He's set up for life. It's about status. It's always about status with these people. It's always about self-regard. It's always about how they are able to see themselves. If you're not on the telly anymore, then your ability to convince yourself that everything's going swimmingly and you're not a sort of frightened little bully, it just begins to dissipate. It begins to dilute. And I say that with a degree of sympathy because it's nothing therapy can't fix. But there it is. Out of all of these astonishing revelations of Jeremy Clarkson's character, including up to and including the condemnation from his own daughter, the idea that you write to the husband after you have publicly abused and maligned the wife in the worst imaginable way is truly off the scale. Mr. Clarkson wrote solely to Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. And remember, by his own account in that letter, he's let us know that he decided to share the fact that he didn't really understand what they'd been talking about on the television either. So not only has he not written to the woman that he abused, he's also taken the opportunity of writing to the husband of the woman that he abused to presumably apologize for abusing the woman. He's taken the opportunity to reveal that he doesn't really approve of their accounts on television, of how appallingly they're treated by the British media. So a senior member of the British media who has roundly and disgustingly abused Meghan Markle writes to Meghan Markle's husband to say sorry for abusing Meghan Markle, while also revealing that he doesn't really understand what it is they've been saying about how appallingly they've been treated by the British media. I'll tell you what, if this was an episode of Succession and one of Logan Roy's top columnists had done what Jeremy Clarkson has done over the course of the last month, because it took him a month to do the public apology, which isn't really an apology at all, the script editors would send it back. They say, don't be ridiculous. Nobody's that backwards.
So I don't know how I missed that, but apparently that non-apology was a topic with James O'Brien, and I missed it. But one of the squaddies helped us to revisit that on social media, and that's how I found it. So, you know, but for what it's worth, it's like I said, when the media, when the tabloid media, the British media, when they circle the wagon, you could literally shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and get away with it, because they are going to find every conceivable nonsensical way that they could concoct to somehow show how you have been punished enough. It wasn't that serious. No one got hurt, even though someone has likely been hurt. And this is why Princess Diana's untimely, mysterious, and tragic death in that tunnel in Paris, this is why nobody actually sounds off about it. this is how they have managed to suppress the facts, to destroy her character. I mean, not only was she killed in the tunnel in Paris, but now her public image has been seriously injured and limping to its death, and there's nothing to be said or done about it. Nothing to be said or done about it. In modern times, that and it's not limited to Britain, of course. We have seen plenty evidence that here in the United States, this is a society that still does not value women, that still do not have respect for women. And sadly, is other women that are the worst. It's other women that are the worst to any woman who is in a position of power and authority. Any woman who has been proven to be in a vulnerable situation, it's like all the other women just pile up on her. It is very, very upsetting and illogical, but there it is. It just keeps happening. We do not respect women in Western society. We still don't. We still allow them to be othered. We still try to make them out to be, I'm trying not to use the wrong language, but you understand what I'm saying. When Trump accused Hillary of being a nasty woman, everybody knows what he was trying to say. It's very disrespectful. And it's shameful behavior. And men like this, they do it because they know they can get away with it. Just like men like this refuse good oral hygiene because they know they can get away with it. Okay, want a body like Kate's? I'm a personal trainer, and here are the workouts you need to do to get toned figure like Princess of Wales, and you might be surprised. I told you they need to stop. Didn't I just say yesterday, y'all, please stop doing that. Stop. You're not helping her. Stop. And they just keep doing it. Yesterday, they had this. Kate's regal transformation from a nobody to one of the most photographed women in the world. How Princess of Wales looks even better now than she did in her 20s. And I just said, stop doing this. And yet, and I know they are watching Royal Sussex, and yet they just won't stop doing it. So here we go again. And they even are trying to tell you how to get those arms, or as some people in the South would say, how to get those arms. How to get those arms. If you want some arms, stop laughing. Some of my relatives say that. If you want arms like that, you want some arms like Kate Middleton, then do these exercises. I am willing to wager you, whatever you do, you should not have arms. Listen to me. I'm not even trying to say it now. You should not have arms like that. No woman should have those arms, but yet some women do. Listen, I'm going to say this one more time to the Daily Fail. Stop trying to help. Stop trying to boost Kate Middleton. Stop fluffing and using these articles to try to make her seem like she's some type of contemporary superstar woman of our age. She is not. She is a very plain, what is that?
There it is. Right.
Reasons Catherine is so popular amongst certain demographics, and I'm going to say older people and men, is because she says absolutely nothing. She's a good little girl who keeps quiet and doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, doesn't rock the boat, and is a very traditional, old-fashioned, mute woman.
Yes. So let me see, trying to get a name. Oh man, jazz hands. There you go. There's jazz hands. Megan no jazz hands. Kate's jazz hands. Megan's no jazz hands. Okay. But anyway, if you strike those rather bizarre poses like you see in the photo there, you could have that body too. Now, again, I have not edited these photos in any way whatsoever. This is what they're trying to, and this is one of the photos from the article. This is one of the photos from the article. If I was Kate, I would have the institution intervene on her behalf and tell them to stop trying to help me because it is causing embarrassment. I believe it is causing embarrassment. This is one of the photos from the article. Not very flattering. And if we're on to go down that path, if you want a body like Kate's, why don't you have a body like Ford Fiesta? Why don't you have a body like the Queen Consort? I mean, come on. Who wouldn't want to look like they have never heard of an underwire, huh? Who wouldn't mind wearing a jumpsuit looking like the Crackerjack boy and turning sideways and looking like Skipper on Gilligan's Island? Who would not want that, right? And if we're going to go down that path, why don't you have a body like Jeremy Clarkson, huh? Why don't they try to sell this as something that people should subscribe to? Who wouldn't want to have a body like Jeremy Clarkson or sometimes like Rupert Murdoch? Have a Jeremy Clarkson body, why don't you? Since you want to help. If you want to help, why don't you ask your readers, do they want a Jeremy Clarkson flotation device body, right? And if that's the case, who wouldn't want a Ford Fiesta goes to the Queen's funeral body? Now you have a slender, serene, beautiful Duchess of Sussex, Princess Meghan, and then of course you have that lumpy, dumpy, squishy, matronly Sophie, now the Duchess of Edinburgh. Now why not have a Sophie body, huh? You've heard of Body by Fisher. How about Body by Sophie? Huh? Why not have a body like Sophie? Since we're trying to assign bodies to people, if you want to give people a Kate body, or if you want to give people any other kind of body, why don't you see how many people are interested in being Sophie? Or or who wants to have a Robert Josephine body? Since we're passing around bodies, since we don't seem to have any regard for people's feelings or people, why don't we just ask how many readers want a Robert Josephine body? You know, that tipping around the McDonald's menu board and sweating and laughing and grunting in front of the camera. Who wouldn't want one of those bodies? So stop helping people because it is causing anxiety. And since we have survived January 6th, since we have survived the global pandemic, please stop trying to assign bodies to people. Please. Okay? Daily Mail, stop doing that. Now, we're going to end today with our people's princess, our Queen of Hearts. Take a look here. I kept this little screenshot of Dr. Shola where she said, beautiful. Anyone watching this knows this child feels safe and loved in Diana's arms. I'm sorry, warm embrace. This is how a queen should be. What a loss to humanity. So I could not share the video with you, but I took some stills from the video where you could see this kid. He just was so excited. He just broke away from his family and ran up to Princess Diana and gave her this warm embrace, which of course she returned in kind. And then when you know, he pulled away from her, you could see him with his hand over his heart, and he's just like gasping for air as he turned to walk away. It was a very sweet moment, and I don't know how I could tell you to find it, but I love that moment, and that was the video that Dr. Shola shared. And then, of course, again, it is Princess Diana's 62nd birthday. So I'm going to end with that video that I promised earlier. And let's see, I think I have it all queued up here. Yes. Now, Susie Q, if you're watching, this is a very emotional video. It's one that I put together some time ago. So, you know, I always have to warn Susie Q, because Susie Q has a very loving, tender heart, and sometimes she gets a little emotional. So I just have to make sure Susie Q is prepared. And thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And this is the last part of it. So if you're up too late and you need to get some rest after this video, there won't be much for you to see. I think this is the end. Yes, it is the end. So thank you so much, everybody. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex.
My dear friend Prince Seso and I founded Centre Boli 16 years ago in honour of our mothers, with a mission to support many of the most vulnerable young people on the planet and to give them care and help so that they can thrive. In Sesotho, the language of the Basotho, the World Centre Boli means forget me not. Next week is the 25th anniversary of my mother's death, and she most certainly will never be forgotten. I want it to be a day filled with memories of her incredible work and love for the way that she did it. I want it to be a day to share the spirit of my mum with my family, with my children who I wish could have met her. Every day, I hope to do her proud. She was tireless in her work to support and destigmatize those experiencing HIV and AIDS. Fittingly, her favorite flowers were forget-me-nots. I hope we can remember my mother's legacy by recommitting to those that we serve, whoever and wherever they may be.